All right, Cigar Peg Key West Mastermind. Dan Knight, you and I were there. We're about a week out from coming home. And talk about the overall experience. Kind of what did you expect going in, and then what did you get on the other end of it now that we're home for a week?
Yeah, well, just going to Key West for me was a draw. So it's one of my favorite places. And when I got there, I think the thing I enjoyed most were the sessions. In terms of getting value, I enjoyed the sessions, and it was a two-way street. We would provide our session and get feedback on it, and then we were able to get other people's sessions, programs, and it was interesting to see the different business models that we use, and to learn a little more about what each of us were doing, our expertise. So I found that very beneficial. It was nice. The social part of it was outstanding. I know not everybody likes to smoke cigars. I do, but just hanging out, having meals together, just enjoying each other's company. And we're pretty humorous and fun-loving group, so that was really great. And so I really enjoyed it overall, yes.
Yeah, well, you know what? You hit on something that I think is really super important, which is this whole myth that you have to be a cigar smoker to come to the Cigar Peg, or that you have to be a cigar smoker to come to the event, to come to the party, to come to this mastermind in Key West. So I think about half our group, right? Half our group are folks who enjoy cigars like you do and I do and a couple other folks, but half of them didn't. And that's no big deal. So if you're not a smoker, you don't do cigarettes, you don't do cigars, you don't do funny cigarettes, it's okay. It's not about the cigars. That's just the name. That's just the name of the group. So
out on that patio too, the cigar smell's not going to hurt you that much.
Right.
Plus you can go into the lounge there and get away from it.
Absolutely right. So, there's indoor activities with no smoking. There's outdoor activities with a little bit of smoking. And that's only at the very end of the day anyway.
Yeah.
So during the mastermind, there's no smoking. There's no cigars. Don't worry about that. Because people go, oh, I'm not sure I qualify because I don't like cigars. So that's a non-issue. Let's talk about take-home value. So what are some of the strategies or tactics or tools or insights that you're able to take home, and now let's say in the next 30 to 60 days, implement to make more money or serve your clients better or sharpen your game?
So you want to make this something serious, huh? Like monetize this. Well, the thing I like the most, and something that, you get reminded of things you already know, is that I came up with this notion that, our intellectual properties is sort of in our presentation and so forth is sort of at the top of the pyramid, but we don't have to do it all ourselves. And how can we multiply ourselves? So I was just found it useful to see how the rest of you multiplied yourself and was able to really concentrate on what you do best and providing your ideas and tools and techniques and so forth, and actually have some support, and not necessarily full-time support, a lot of contract support, which I'm working on. And it made me realize that I need to do even more of that, because I'd still do some things that I know when I'm doing them I should actually, go on to one of these helplines to get somebody else to do it for me. So that was big. Also, it was just it was a nice confidence builder to see that different one of us, the business models we were using. And I think by seeing how the rest of you monetize things, I don't have anything specific for you other than what I just said, but just to realize that there is even more money to be made out there. Not that money is necessarily that important for me, but it is something, otherwise it's a hobby, right? So that was good.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and I think you put your finger on something really important that, we talk about all kinds of things, and we talk about things in the sessions, we talk about things at breakfast and lunch and dinner and by the pool, but when you talk about the, simplifying, eliminating, delegating, outsourcing, and then looking at what other people are doing with the people and the tools and the tech. So, we talked about, virtual assistants. We talked about tools like ClickFunnels with Robert's presentation. We talked about some visual marketing tools in my presentation. We talked about webinars. We talked about all these different sorts of people, tools, and technology that, like you said, it can multiply and amplify your reach as a thought leading expert, no matter what your primary business model is. Maybe you're a trainer, maybe you're a coach, maybe you're a consultant, maybe you're a speaker, but this Key West Mastermind really, I think, raises all boats, because we're exposed to things that we're hungry for, and we're exposed to things that we might not have even known that we're missing.
Yeah. The technology for supporting us is really moving right along, and it's surprising how useful some of those things, like the one that Robert was talking about. You just used the name.
ClickFunnels, ClickFunnels is what he was talking about.
That is really quite extraordinary that you can automate that much of your business and actually have other people support you to take care of some of the nitty-gritty.
Right, absolutely. Well, and I think the other benefit with that and with all of the presentations and all of the mastermind components is we get a little bit of a peek behind the scenes. We get to see what other people are doing. Not just, hey, here's a cool tool, but here's how I'm using this tool. Here's how I'm using licensing. Here's how I'm using mastermind groups. Here's how I'm using webinars. Here's how I'm using, this kind of consulting model or whatever it might be. And you don't get that. I mean, there's no other place to get that intimate kind of behind the scenes sharing of what's working for people right now in their business. And that business might be very different than yours, but you can pick up and you can, as our friend Chris says, right, you can adapt, adopt, or archive those things.
There you go.
Really build up your business development library. So you're leaving Key West and you're like, wow, my eyes have been opened. I've got new ways to monetize. I've got new ways to use technology. I've got new ways to use to deliver my products and services and programs. And that's really exciting. So talk to me a little bit about what you would say to someone who's on the fence. The applications are open for our Key West Mastermind next year. And by the way, it's an application process, right? So we don't pick everybody. We pick, serious people who have a lot to contribute and who would have a lot to gain. But what would you say to that person who's considering applying and just on the fence, not really sure if it's going to be worth their time or money or effort to attend?
Yeah, this is kind of interesting. We're a very inclusive group, but there's only a limited number of spaces. And I think it's such a value that I think there's going to be a lot of people disappointed. And that's too bad. So that's what's going through my mind. I don't know if that's what you...
Waiting list. Huge waiting list. Truly. I mean, it could be, right? I mean, do we decide on 10? Are we doing 10 or 12?
12.
12, okay.
12, yeah, and that's too many. But
that's already too many. We don't want half these people. We don't want
12
you.
Will work. 12 will work. We'll make 12 work. But that was really one of the attractions, is that it's a small group. It's a mastermind. And so you get to actually connect with people. Another big thing we haven't talked about is the food and the meals and the sharing together over a meal is just it's one of those essential things for teaming up, forming up as a team.
Yeah, that social component's huge. And the other thing that I think you bring up that is really worth mentioning is, there's a lot of people bandy around this word mastermind. And sometimes mastermind is kind of a code word for seminar, or it's a code word for conference, or it's a code word for, some kind of educational meeting. This is a true mastermind. This is where people come together as peers and we share in a very structured way. We can literally pick each other's brains before, during, and after, like you were saying, at the meals, at the pool, at the beach, wherever we happen to be. And it really is a very, very different format. If you've never been to an actual real mastermind, that's not a disguised seminar or a disguised conference or a disguised meeting, then you probably haven't experienced something like this. And it's very, very powerful.
Yeah, we laugh a lot too. We had a lot of fun.
And we buy silly T-shirts.
Yeah.
And we buy silly T-shirts.
Yeah.
So any final thoughts? Any final thoughts or final comments to that person who is maybe thinking, maybe I'm too advanced. Maybe maybe it's too soon for me. Maybe I'm not advanced enough. Talk about some of what can we do to encourage people, no matter where they are in the spectrum of their career, to consider this a very serious, very valuable professional development opportunity?
Well, I don't know quite how to say this. If you really want to learn, you want to come there with a certain amount of humility and but ambition, or really have some goals, that would probably help a lot. You just if you come there not sure you're going to fit in, I think probably if you kept your mind open, you would fit in real quick and have a lot of fun. Having said all that, there's going to be some disappointment. This is my prediction. So, not everybody's going to get in. If I would be signing up, but I guess we're the bad boys, huh?
Well, it's funny. I mentioned that in the previous video that, if it were the same process, the folks that were there this year probably wouldn't qualify for next year because we're raising the bar. But we're going to be there as alumni, so too bad. But you're right. We're raising the bar. You're absolutely right.
That's the spirit.
We're totally raising the bar. Yeah. But, the Island of Misfit Toys is still open for admission.
Yeah.
So we'd love to have you apply if you're watching this.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Dan. Well, thank you so much. This was fantastic. And we will connect. And obviously, we'll see each other in Key West, you and me. And hopefully some of the people also watching this, our new friends, will apply to join us in Key West as well.
Yeah. No, this is fun. Thank you. Thank you for going through the trouble of calling me up.
You bet. All right. Talk to you soon.
Sure. Bye.